Good morning. Welcome to the Atlanta Family Church Prayer Vigil, day number 66 of our prayer vigils today. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with a bow to have the parents and true parents. So please join me in that bow. Chanjin, Champumanim, Kambe. Paro. Let's do the family pledge. Number 1, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to seek original homeland and build the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven, the original ideal of creation, by centering on true love. 2, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to represent and become central to heaven and earth by attending the heavenly parent and true parents. We pledge to perfect the dutiful family way of filial sons and daughters in our own family, patriots in our nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters in heaven and on earth by centering on true love. 3, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to perfect the 4 great realms of heart, the 3 great kingships, and the realm of the royal family by centering on true love. 4, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to build the universal family encompassing heaven and earth, which is the heavenly parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. Number 5, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to strive every day to advance the unification of the spirit world and the physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. And 6, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to become a family that moves heavenly fortune by embodying the heavenly parents and true parents, and to perfect the family that conveys heaven's blessing to our community by centering on true love. 7, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges to living for the sake of others to perfect the world based on the culture of heart, which is rooted in the original lineage by centering on true love. 8, our family, the owner of Chanoguk, pledges having entered the era of Chanoguk to achieve the ideal of God and human beings united in love through absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience, and to perfect the realm of liberation and complete freedom in the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven by centering on true love. Would you please join me in prayer to start off this morning? Dear parent, thank you so much for this beautiful day, this beautiful morning. We're here with our brothers and sisters, part of the prayer vigils, to be able to start off our day with you, God. But not only that, to really understand what is your heart through True Mother, and understand how True Mother is really moving the providence and how she moved the providence in the past. How just getting that much closer to understanding what we need to really do in the future with Mother, and how we can change this world, and how we can really save 8 billion people is through understanding Mother, understanding our true Mother. Thank you for always giving us enlightenment every single morning. Thank you for always really showing us the way every single morning. I really pray that you can join us today while we're seeking another chapter, another section, to be able to understand a little bit more about your heart, my Father, and more about your Mother's heart. So I pray that you can join us today. I pray I put the name of the Damandikak Pastor couple. Amen. Aju. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump into breakout rooms so you can start off the day with some gratitude. So I'll see you in about 7 minutes. And all right. The rooms are open. Those on YouTube, love to see you. And if you want to go ahead and share your gratitudes this morning too, or just say it out to the world, that'll be great as well. But you need to be able to see the understanding of gratitude in your heart to start off the day right. So I'll see you in 7 minutes. Go ahead and reflect or share with the buddy. Good morning. I'm going to go ahead and put you in a breakout room. Welcome back, everybody, to the main room. And we're going to go ahead and start with some sharings this morning. I'd like to ask two people to share this morning. And I was wondering if Mama Coco, would you be able to share your gratitude for this morning?
Okay, thank you so much, brothers and sisters. Yeah, this morning just I was sharing that I'm very grateful. When I'm thinking to some brothers and sisters in the beginning of the church, we walk with them together. They are not here. Everybody are in spirit. Some are in spiritual. And then I'm so grateful that I'm still alive in this precious era of the providence finalized by our true mother. And then we can have this experience where brother and sister, everywhere we can be connected in one center, the Johnson one. And it's the moment we're learning how to put our mind and our spirit to be controlled by God. It's not an easy thing, but with Johnson one, and when we're meeting together and sharing, and then we can come back all in one center. And then I think this will help us to find the vertical line, and then easily we can be in the same level like brothers and sisters, and then we can create this heavenly environment Mother want to make for us. This was my sharing this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Also very grateful for the Chanshin one as well. And I'm glad that this Chanshin one right there is actually very filled at this moment. I'm very happy to see that. I know Mrs. Bowman and Mr. Bowman, I believe, is there as well. Nice to see you there physically. All right. And yeah, so the Chanshin one is a very great place for people to be. And so please, if you haven't already, please be there physically. Please be there a little bit more consistently as well. It's a very great place for what Mother really gave as a gift to America. So, all right, and we're gonna have one more sharing this morning. And so thank you, Mrs. Mama Coco. And I was wondering if how about Mrs. Matsunaga, would you be able to share this morning?
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Yeah, I was breakout room, Mama Coco too. Yeah, I feel so. This 40-day condition start true mother and every country, all brothers sisters together, and we go through many different 40-day, 21-day, many of we go through. But this time, really, very beginning, we can heard what true mother want to ask very detail. We could start the same time. I think this is the first time. Really, I feel this is a new era, and I feel the 40 days good. I feel a heavenly fortune. Very good. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and thank you, Mama Coco. Thank you, Mrs. Matsunaga, for this morning's sharing. So we're going to go ahead and just jump into the reading for today, and just to learn a little bit more about Mother's heart. We are on page 350. Yes, on day 66, and a part of our second condition of 40 days. We're on the 26th day of the second condition. All right. On the foundation of these and more works over the following decade. At a major ACLC meeting in Las Vegas 2015, I proclaimed for the first time, I have come as the only begotten daughter for God and humankind. Let's realize God's will together. The ministers welcomed my words with cheers. Why have we not known of this truth until now? Someone said, why has the obvious fact never crossed our minds? I challenge those ministers, the 21st century and the era of true parents. Who are the chosen people of this age? The answer is you. You're the chosen people centered on true parents in the 21st century. This is with Bishop Noel Jones, 2019, City of Refuge. Meeting this challenge in New York's Madison Square Garden in 2017, at Long Island's Nassau Coliseum on November 18th, and Los Angeles and Las Vegas in April and June of 2019. The Family Federation and ACLC sponsored blessing ceremonies and Peace Starts With Me rallies of hope for the advancement of a heavenly unified world. In Los Angeles, inspired by not just ACLC, but by the youth of Los Angeles CARP, Bishop Noel Jones of the City of Refuge, a former mentor of the U.S. President Barack Obama, testified that I am the Mother of Peace. Dr. Hak Jahan Moon was specially sent to unite humankind, he announced to an audience of 5,000. As he invited all couples to receive this marriage blessing, at the end of the rally, the City of Refuge Church raised our Family Federation's flag. 6 months later, on October 31st, 2019, in the Lotte Hotel in Seoul, Korea, some 700 clergy members, including 40 Americans and 400 Koreans, attended the inaugural ceremony of the Korean Clergy Leadership Conference. And then on December 28th, 2019, at the culmination of my 40-day Cosmic Canaan course for the firm establishment of Chanoguk, clergy gathered from all over the world to establish the World Clergy Leadership Conference. At the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, amid a crowd of 25,000 at the Peace Starts With Me rally. 400 American ministers were joined by more than 600 Christian ministers from 70 countries, including 160 pastors from South Korea, and prominent members of the clergy from Japan, Latin America, Asia, and Africa. From Europe came ministers from the World Council of Churches, the world's largest council of Christians. In all, 1,000 Christian leaders united under the banner of a heavenly unified world, centering on our Heavenly Parent. I am deeply grateful to heaven for the World Clergy Leadership Conference. Uniting Christianity was part of my resolution to bring True Father's work to its ultimate conclusion. And this was an important milestone at that providence. At that rally, Reverend Paula White, a spiritual advisor to U.S. President Donald Trump, spoke on the direction of the United States should take for the sake of the Heavenly Parent. 6 Christian clergy representing the regions of the world then spoke. Among them were Archbishop George Augustus Stallings, representing America, KCLC co-chair Reverend Kim Soo-mon, representing South Korea, and Prophet Samuel Redebe, representing Africa. We held 2 blessings in South Africa this year alone. This is December 28th, 2019, World Clergy Leadership Conference, Rally of Hope, said Prophet Redebe. In June, during a national blessing ceremony attended by more than 60,000 people, True Mother offered a prayer to liberate the young people who sacrificed their lives to fight against oppression and injustice. Following this, on December 7th, at the FNB Stadium in Johannesburg, we held a blessing ceremony for 200,000 on the continental scale and proclaimed Heavenly Africa. Africa is not a God-centered Africa. Bishop Noel Jones then testified, True Mother has given a special vision, not only to the American clergy, but to all of us who can realize such a profound vision. On this foundation, I delivered my message. Christians should not have put their focus only on the second coming of Christ, but also on his bride, the only begotten daughter. Heaven chose the Korean people at this historical time and brought about not just the birth of Father Moon in 1920, but the birth of Mother Moon, the only begotten daughter, in 1943. We must know that the blessing officiated today by the only begotten daughter, True Mother, is humanity's long-awaited dream of 6,000 years and the wish of our Heavenly Parent. As I uttered those words, I wept. The hearts of all those in attendance felt those years. At that event, many members of the clergy discarded their preconceived notions of our movement. I believe that heaven can accept this one minister's words to represent all Christianity. Through this event, I found the rumors about the Unification Church are far from the truth. I realized that I have blocked my eyes and ears to the truth of this group, having heard it was a cult or heretical. But when I listened to the introduction to the Family Federation, I received the powerful inspiration that without heaven's guidance, Reverend Sam Young Moon and Dr. Hak Ja Han Moon could not have carried out such miraculous work. Others shared similar words. Now my religious views have changed. I feel like a newborn Christian. Why do I oppose them? I regret opposing them without truly knowing who they are. I have been touched. I know the unification movement is doing the work of God, and from now on, I will sincerely help in their activities. I was moved by the realization that Dr. Hak Ja Han Moon is the only begotten daughter, and the promise to build the pure Garden of Eden through the principles of true family. My husband, Father Moon, and I love America with our whole heart, and we live for its salvation. This love enabled us to endure years of criticism and persecution, including Father Moon's very unfair imprisonment, and not for at all to the sake of Heavenly Parent and humankind. After True Father's Holy Ascension in 2012, I took upon myself a great responsibility. God led me through difficult circumstances and painful trials. I have now completed the 7-year course seeking the restoration of nations to God's embrace. The final 40-day course at the end of 2019 was a path through wilderness, uncharted in heaven and on earth. My objective was to settle God's kingdom of Chanoguk in the worldwide Canaan. This path of restoration history was completed at the Vision 2020 Global Summit in Korea. February 2020, which was a beacon of hope lit on the eve of a global transformation. Just going to read a little bit more. Giving birth to the heavenly world. Over the decades, I have kept a particular photograph close to my heart. When I close my eyes, I can clearly see it. It is of a woman with a little girl on her back, holding the Korean flag. It was taken in the market of Anju, my hometown. The woman's face is flushed with desperation. It looks as if she wants to grab onto something and plead her difficult situation. The image is of my maternal grandmother, Jo Won-mo, carrying her daughter, my mother, Hong Sune, on her back as she took part in the independence movement on the first day of March in 1919. My maternal uncle used to tell me stories as we looked at this photo. Unfortunately, we did not bring it with us when we fled the north. It is probably safe somewhere in my hometown. And there was a very similar photo of Grandmother Jo waving the Korean flag, but this one was taken August 15th, 1945. And in the photo, it is me she is carrying on her back. This time, her face is filled with joy. She looks ready to embrace everyone she meets. Her expression in those two photos contrasts the sorrow of losing one's nation with the joy of gaining it back. Our sorrow over having lost God's world is soon to transform into the joy of gaining it back. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end there on page 355. And really, a lot of things have happened in that moment as well. Different I think a lot of people here probably have been to the rallies as well, but there's been a lot of rallies, obviously speaking, and where Mother was able to really, it was a time of kind of mass understanding of Mother and really saying the begotten daughter, and that was, I think, when she started to really say it, that was when we needed to start to. I think before that, it was very crucial that we could have understood that before she had to mention it. But during that time, she really professed it out to the world, and how much we have to really consider the only begotten daughter, and not just the father when we always talk about true parents. When we talk about true parents, we talk about both of them, right? And how crucial it is to have the bride, and how crucial it is to have the first true Eve. So it was a very crucial moment at that moment. So yes, and then of course the last portion really talking about she's gonna jump into Korea a bit more, but seeing the difference between her grandmother's photo and her own photo, and her mother's / her own photo, and how much there was a difference in the change over time. So really symbolism there for the change in Korea and how we can move stepping, how can we step forward into the future. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the breakout rooms today and talk a little bit more about the passages. So let me just recreate the rooms. I see you all in 7 minutes. All right, everybody on YouTube, same thing. Please go back if you need to rewind and see the passage itself. Welcome back to the main room, everybody. And I'd like to get 2 sharings today. First person I'd like to ask to share is actually somebody from the Chuncheon one. I'm wondering if Nami, would you like to share today? Or reflection?
Yes, something that I guess stuck out to me, and was also mentioned by one of people in our breakout room. But yeah, just seeing how the hearts of Christian ministers changing when they really experience like true parents' love in person, and yeah, that although maybe their perspective or the perspective on our movement wasn't so good at first, through really receiving true mother's love, being in the presence of her, or true father, their hearts really changing. And yeah, I think that I was really moved by that, just to see their hearts change and testifying about true parents. Yes.
Thank you. And I think Nami had somewhat of experiences with what's his name, Bishop Noel Jones as well. So maybe saw him a little bit more in person about that. And I know that's somewhat of a story to actually kind of flip the switch when he saw Mother. So yes, thank you so much, Nami, for your sharing this morning, and really how much a lot of these leaders are finally recognizing Mother, and how much they have. Some of them even flipped the switch to be able to really be in the direction of Mother. So very grateful for those leaders and all those people out there. So it's really the spirit of Mother that really changed them, really. So I'll also like to ask the Grices, would you like to share this morning?
Well, I was sharing that the last part, to Mother speaks about how she always has this image in her mind of her grandma, like 2 images, like her grandmother in 2 separate occasions, where, at the time where, March 1st, where it was very, very sad situation, many people died. And then also another situation where, the victory, in the victorious situation. And somehow I felt really moved in my heart, because it brought me back to my mother. And one experience I always remember, especially it comes back to me when I have a very difficult time, where she, at some point, my father was a minister, and my mother, she tried to support my father really well. So at some point, somebody died in his congregation. He was a young man. He died, and he had his wife and 4 sons had a farm, a very big farm, and they didn't know what to do. And then my mother went to help them, and then come back for a while, for a few days, and we had a tough time. And at first, that memory was not such a good memory for me. But now when I think back, I think I'm grateful that my mother had this type of spirit, that because she kind of made a good foundation for me. So I think we all have this type of images in our minds, for some. And it just, when Mother writing about this, it really made a artistic connection for me, with True Mother. Yeah, so that's my takeaway.
In my breakout with others, brothers and sisters, today, I didn't have a takeaway. However, I do have a question to you, Pastor Eliyahu. And that question is, you mentioned that ministers or leaders who visited personally with your mother or had a meeting with your mother amongst the other leaders. You said flip the switch. Could you give a definition of what you mean by that?
I mean, in cases like Bishop Noel Jones, just like Bishop Noel Jones, at first, when they started, this took a while for them to really witness to Bishop Noel Jones, but Bishop Noel Jones was a little resistant.
Yeah.
So he was a little resistant when he first heard about our movement, but over time, and then eventually when he really met Mother, he flipped the switch, meaning that, you know, he was turned off, I guess is the metaphor. He was turned off, and then now he's like, oh, I get it. I get the spirit. I understand why they're following. That's what I mean by flip the switch, basically, in a good way, I guess. Maybe, I don't know if that's, I've heard it in those contexts, but that's what I meant. But yeah.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Thank you for your sharings this morning. Yes. So, yes, thank you so much for your sharings, and really sharing about your own experience as well, Mrs. Grice, and really being able to relate it. And I'm really grateful that also Mother shared those experiences with her. Obviously, seeing those kind of like different perceptions like you're talking about, but also the time of sadness being moved into a time of happiness, really being able to move into that. So it was really grateful experience for that as well. So thank you thank you, Nami, and thank you, the Grices, for this morning and the sharing. We're going to go ahead and do one song before we finish off with our 7-minute prayer and our announcements for the day. So.
Starting off with Song of the Heavenly Soldiers. 2, 3, 4. Beautiful morning sunrise from above the land of our home.
right, and we're going to go ahead and jump into our 7-minute prayer. So please unmute your mics and let us pray. Yeah, parents, thank you so much for this.
Dear most beloved,
Here with our brothers.
Yes, love
to
and
the
Age and number of
coming to you, beloved brothers.
faith,
Is this new day when we end in by 66
pray, Father, that we can be
when we're feeling Father God,
faith in the connection for a long time. We pray that we
we must stay calm,
love and fervor.
prepare our mind to get calm in our life. That we can direct us in a positive thinking. Love even parents, Father God. Want really to fund this vertical line so we can receive just thing coming from you, not what we want, what we're thinking. Not really the time where we want to offer you
all the time.
our mind and our spirit will self-denial. We can listen to your voice, that we can start to listen to your voice, Father God. That's why someone came. This will help us all the problem we're having. The problem of relation, the problem of decision, of change of opinion. Because you can talk to us directly, Father God. You can show us the right way. All about everything every day. We pray for this community of Atlanta. Lord, we pray parents, that we can direct all our brothers in the vertical line, that we can unite, that we can understand each other
To achieve the
in a
greatest
certain
and
level
the
of
highest
spectrum.
attitude, highest
Love even parents, that we
highest
can
function
welcome our personal
in the
vision,
realm of
personal desire, beloved parents,
absolute
that we can welcome what you want to give to us, that we can welcome the direction you give to us, Father God. And we want really to humble ourselves that any moment we can go where you want to send us, where you want for us, what you want from us today. Love every parent, our voice, you want to listen to it. For Sister Diana is here, beloved parents. I know many times the enemy is trying to beat them. But beloved parents, it means that this
pray for you, the leader of the end of pray, Father, that you Father, on all fronts, Father, in the industry of media, of education, Father,
you can see
call us
the
to God.
and then keep being a band of people to our tomorrow, to our
Pray, Father, you are the you
instead of settle.
us.
Not every parents we don't know
Recognize, Father,
the
God,
ability
Father,
and the capacity in
Father,
what we can do. But
plan,
he was always
molecular
ready,
tomorrow,
beloved
Father,
parents,
Father,
being able to
and
do
and also recognize, Father,
so much
that
better.
access, Father, the human being,
This
man and
possibility
woman,
you give to us.
Father,
This is the day you put forward
have
in Las Vegas that we have
and in
to receive more
spiritual
inspiration from you, love everybody.
object, Father, for the simple operations, harmony of all
Need to be able to
all the
それあなたが本当に動いている
Father, can you
あなた
establish
が共にあることを本当に表してくださいまして、本当にたまにあなたが誇ることのできる息子の姿を
that your will be
一
done?
人一人の歩みは鳥に足らない
Pray for the
ですけれども、
power
どう
of
か
force of
共に
love
歩む兄弟姉妹が本当に
activated,
手
Father.
に手を取り合いながら共に立ち上がり、
Father,
そして
So we
共
can
に
represent you, Father.
心情を交わ
Represent
し、理解し合い、本当に信頼し合い、本当に
live, Father.
ただの親友を許す
In
こと
a
なく、お父
magnified
様、
way,
ただ
Father.
の分断を許すことなく、
Everybody can be touched.
一つとなることを通
Everybody,
して、
Father, can
天の運勢を
for
お父
the
様、また
transcendence, Father, through the
この
infinite,
地に本当に
Father,
いつも
Father,
巻き起
to
こすことがで
free
き
Father,
る歩みを
Father,
流して
everyone,
ください
Father,
ますよ。
all of us,
また
Father,
お願い
all
申し上げ
of
ます。
us,
ではまた、
be still for sing,
韓
Heavenly
国チャン
Father,
ピオンの
for
人と
our
共に、
energy,
今
multiply,
日
get
が
ready
溢
for
れてまいります。
the
しまこの夜には、
man
食べに
forth, Father,
に
the
起こ
land
る
of
また
Father,
伝統連結
nation of
の
Shalom.
第3日目を迎えるわけであります。兄弟姉妹、本当に
Father,
共
Father,
に、また
all barriers, Father, can be, Father,
顔と顔を
Father,
回しながら、本当
and
に
all
ま
conflicts
た
will
心
exist
情を
no
変え
more,
て、
Father.
皆様、
Father,
新しい
I pray,
こと
Father,
ま
that
た
peace
こ
will
の
stand still,
日々
Father,
心情を新たに
in
しな
our
がら、
neighborhoods,
この
Father, in
現
our
実状態
community.
にまた前進していくことができますように
Stand still,
と、
Father,
岩見さん
at
に
the
感謝
work of
です。
the
あなたに
whether
も
it be in the
and
office,
迫ってい
so
た的な私たちに今、言葉を発しようというこの時を迎えております。
so and
言葉に触れることができる。
back love in advance. They're gonna have good speech.
Pray for your name.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, so we have a couple announcements. I think one of them was mentioned by the earlier gratitudes this morning. I think Mrs. Matsunaga mentioned it, but we're having a 40-day right now until until Father Seonghwa on August 31st. So this is the time of witnessing. This is a time of for at least the pastor's house visits. So you might be visited by us, and then as well as just witnessing in general and having that heart of witnessing. Mother's real, I guess I'm not. I guess I know that this is obviously Mother's vision, and I don't know like how you can say it, but anyway, direction as well. And obviously, I think in general, our church has been a witnessing church for a very long time. So this is a time of witnessing. This is a time of really connecting to each other as well. This is a time of also qualitative growth. We talked about with the beginning of our 40-day condition. This is a time of qualitative growth, right? Where we're also growing within the movement as well. So we can hope that we can take this in and receive this mission. And I think if you're scared and you're worried about witnessing, and you're maybe talking to somebody already and you're just scared that they're not going anywhere or anything like that, I think, and if Nami can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I know that Bishop Noah Jones, like I said, he was hesitant, but I think he was hesitant for about 10 years. It took a while, but guess what happened? At the end of the day, he became a good John the Baptist. He became someone that really moved people towards true parents. So don't give up. I know it's hard sometimes to witness. I know it's tough to even witness to one person and think about the one person this whole time, because that's what ends up happening when you're witnessing, is you're thinking about this one person this whole time, and you might feel like they're not going anywhere. But in the end of the day, it might take some effort, but it will. I mean, God's victory is true, right? So let's keep fighting and let us keep witnessing. So this condition started this past Monday, I believe. either Monday, yeah, and then it's going to end on the 31st of August. So, and the second announcement of today is actually happening at 9 a.m. today. We're having our Friday prayer vigil that is connected to the Chuncheon in Korea. So if you physically can join, and in the Chuncheon and that's going to happen at 9 a.m. today. And yeah, I'm going to send a link to Kimura-san as well. So other than that, yes, so we're going to have our Sunday service coming up this Sunday, and we want to be able to also advocate about the prayer vigil. The number went down today for the participants. We needed to go up and improve. So let us keep making prayer vigil a thing and every morning to really connect to the Chuncheon, because this is our passage that we are at home to connect to the Chuncheon. So, all right. So thank you, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. God bless.
Have a nice day.
God bless you, pastors. God bless everyone.